Well, Evan, pickleball season is upon us.
Oh, man. When are we starting our team?
I don't know. I actually don't know when pickleball starts. It's probably not starting in the winter, but I just wanted something to say.
What tournament we're signing up for and when it is.
Man, I gotta start shopping for short shorts first.
Because that's what you do for sports.
That's what you do for sports.
Yeah.
And also what you do for sports is go to BetOnline, because BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025.
Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion.
With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year.
From touchdowns to three-pointers and hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, every win.
You can bet on somebody pulling a rabbit out of a hat?
You can.
Is that a hat trick?
I think so.
BetOnline.
Don't quote us.
The game starts here. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
And my name is Evan, and I am a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin is going to explain to us how he feels like an old man by trying to party like it's 1999.
Ooh, yeah.
What a stupid old reference.
You're
aging
cool.
myself.
This is a cool podcast. If you're a first-time listener, welcome aboard. You're listening to us on dial-up.
Don't forget your fiber.
And on this podcast, more than once, Evan really boxes himself in.
Cheers. Cheers. A little bit of housekeeping.
Let's do a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going on tour.
Yep.
Again. We're going back on the road. The
Again,
tour, I guess.
I know.
We'll just say the tour continues, because it is the same show that we've done in Chicago, although there's been some tweaks to it. But we are doing shows on February 11th in Washington, D.C., February 12th in Philadelphia, February 14th in New York City, February 15th in Boston, February 16th in Pittsburgh. Link in our show notes. Guys, it's going to be a great show. We're really excited.
Come see us.
To do it. We're adding, obviously, some stuff to it in addition to the show that already exists. But I'm telling you guys, such a fun show. We really want you to see it. Let people know if you don't live in the area. Let somebody who lives in the area know. Well, help us sell out these shows.
You know, one of the things that I've loved so far about doing the show is, and it's not that I didn't think this was going to happen, because, I mean, you and I did sketch together for a long time.
Yeah.
Sketch comedy. And then, each show you do the same sketch. You write the sketch, you memorize the sketch, you work on the timing of it. But you'd still I thought of something funny. I thought of an idea that we haven't done before. Let's try this tonight. When I say this, do a jumping jack, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
guys, it's so much better than us just doing a jumping jack. What a tough sell.
That was back in sketch.
Yeah.
We wrote the show. We were so happy with it, and then we did it, and we did it for our friends. We got notes, and then we changed a bunch of stuff, and then we were like, "Oh, we love it." And then we took it on. We did it in Chicago, and then the next day driving 5 hours, we were like, I think tonight, it was we were making little adjustments. Yeah. And then into the next night, still we did it. It was yeah, that was a little better. I like this part better. I you know what I think we should do? And then doing another thing. And kind of always adjusting it. I forgot how much fun that is to kind of continuously work on it. You know? And then we came back to LA and did it, and we were like, this feels like the best we've done it. And it did. It felt like the best we've done it. And now we're kind of getting back to the material again. It's well, what if we moved this one part? It's it's so fun to tinker with it. But at the same time, it's because, you're always trying to make it as good as we can possibly make it.
It is funny. It's it's a thing with being a performer. It's almost it's a good problem to have, is that you're never quite satisfied. I thought our LA show was great.
Yeah.
Great audience. Felt good with our timing. Felt good with the jokes and everything. And we filmed that show more for reference. We're not selling it. We will be doing a taping of a show, TBD, audience members. But then we watched we both on our own time watched the footage and then called each other and was like, I have notes.
I have a bunch of notes. I know. It's so funny. But I love that. I love that, because it obviously it keeps it fresh. But it's like I said, we continuously going I think it could be a little bit better.
Yes. Because it always can.
Because it always can.
Yep. So come to the show. Link in the show notes. We're really, really excited.
Eventually, we'll get it to the point where it's so insanely dialed in that the only way to improve it will just to be better, funnier guys, But hopefully you will have seen
Recast.
Recast.
Hopefully you see the original cast.
Hopefully you see the original cast.
We're just going to get through award season, and if we don't get nominated for Tonys, then we'll probably, have our understudies.
But yeah, but until then, come see the show.
See the original cast of the Dumb Dads. We joke around about that, but was it Blippi does that? He has a live show. It's not him. And
is
he the one? I think he's the only one. Because Danny Go, we saw him. Dude, guy crushes.
Guy crushes.
That show was money.
Did I tell you what happened?
It was the real Danny Go.
We bought tickets for our kids to go see Cat Kid Comic Club live. Yeah. And for Christmas gifts. And we God, so typical parenting stuff that you won't deal with, but you're not in the mood to deal with. And then that afternoon, we were gonna leave at, let's say a time was 5:00. I don't remember. Okay. It was Saturday night kind of thing, still in the middle of winter break. And 3:30 rolls around and my son's like, I don't feel good. And we're like, what do you mean you don't feel good? He's like, oh, my stomach feels weird. And we're like, okay. How much water did you drink today? He's like, not a lot. And we're like, okay, drink some water, And 15 minutes later, he's barfing in the toilet. And we're like, okay. But he gets up and he's like, I feel way better after that happened. And we're like, okay.
Everybody feels better after barfing.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, okay. And then kind of a little nervous about, because that was also, that night we were seeing the show, and then the next day flying to the Seattle area to see my family, to see Grandma and Grandpa. So we're like, why is this happening? And then he kind of kept going back to it, and once he started the anxiety of oh no, then I think it was he couldn't get out.
Then
you
don't know for sure if he's sick now.
Yeah, but he didn't barf again, and then we're on the way down to the show that we bought tickets to, and we were starting to look for parking, and he's like, I don't feel good again, and we're like, are you just nervous you're gonna throw up, or because we're at the show, now the fun time starts. So we're trying to we're just praying that it's anxiety.
Isn't this
we're
awful?
Trying to just coach him out of it, because it's I'm dropping off my wife and 2 children so that I can go park and doing that whole thing. We're outside the venue and stuff. Yeah. And he's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe I just need to drink some more water. And we're like, okay. And he gets out of the car and barfs. It was okay. And it's 45-minute drive to get there. So it was okay. Just our knee-jerk decision was, okay, mommy and little one, have fun.
Yeah.
We're going home. Because the quick decision is what am I going to do? Take him somewhere?
Isn't that
fun? For 2 hours? So he can just feel like garbage? Sitting in some, I don't even know where. So it's I had to go home.
Where? Think of a place. Go.
Well, I'm thinking some diner or wherever's open. Okay. A restaurant. Sorry, you guys have some paper bags so we can just barf while we sit here? Because we got to go pick up my wife in an hour and a half. There was no thing to do.
Diner would have been good. Fill them up on pancakes, soak it all up. It's like eating sponges.
At least they're on vinyl benches.
Yeah, you just got to get that rag in between the back part and the seat part. That's where the real gold is. But isn't that funny as a parent when your kids I think this is true of a lot of people. This story is an example of it.
Yeah.
Is if your kid doesn't feel good in the morning, especially in today's climate, you're taking COVID tests, temperatures, all that stuff. Because one, you're not going to school. I'm not going to spread this disease to other people. I'm a good member of our community. I'm helpful. But then when you're going to something, you're kind of hey, can you just pull through for me?
I know.
Yeah. I don't want to know what it is. Let's just get through it.
I need you to suck it up.
It's not funny.
I know.
You're he could have had norovirus. He didn't because he didn't do it again. But it was you were okay, you might have norovirus. Can you pull it together though for me?
I know. You could laugh and when everyone claps, then you barf so no one hears it.
Yeah.
I know.
Because I threw up, I feel better. It's yeah, when liquid comes out of any part of your body, you feel better for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was norovirus. It might have been, but it wasn't like we were all barfing so much. But definitely the rest of us started to feel like queasy for a few days. Like
then it was not norovirus.
But I don't know. But I mean, obviously everything affects people in different ways. So he threw up a couple times. But on top of that, then it's like we also had to called my mom and dad, and we're like, we already tested him for COVID. He doesn't have COVID, but he did barf a couple times. And like they have to get the green light. They have to be okay. We have to be okay with them being like, well, I'd rather you not just bring that to our house.
Yeah. But
they were like,
grandparents are like all aboard.
That's how my mom and dad were. They were like,
I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here?
We'll just be safe. If he gets really sick, he can stay away or whatever. We'll just, because then not only is it like, I mean, and it was like I said, knee-jerk decision making because like they need to go in. Somebody needs to sit down for this show. Mm-hmm. So I'm already in the driver's seat and I'm like, I guess I'm taking him home. So right away, you're trying not to. I don't want to make him feel bad. He already feels bad. And on top of that, you think you're trying to have your kid pull it together so he doesn't miss something. Like, trust me, man, he did not want to miss the show.
Sure.
I mean, he's the kid. He's like, now I don't get to go to this show because I don't feel good. This sucks, Well,
it's your fault. Get a better immune system.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we talking about?
Learn how to wash your hands.
Did you pick up your wife and daughter with your son? Or did you leave them at home?
No, left him at home. So
good. Because that's like... Because listen,
siblings, with another set of grandparents, by the way.
Sure.
Just so people know.
Just leave. What's he going to do?
Good luck.
He's too weak to walk out the door. It's fine. But that's good because like the siblings at that age, they're not good about getting in the car and just being quiet, being like, yeah, it was a cool show.
Oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever seen. Let me tell you all about it. Yeah,
you missed
a
spectacle.
Yeah. So, but like in that moment, like knee-jerk decision making, I also know like we're just eating $100 here, just eating $100. There's nothing else that you can. There's nothing you can do. It's too late to release them to somebody. I know it was a great show. They had a great time, but I doubt there's a lot of people out there going, tickets. Anybody got tickets? It's like you're either going or you're not.
It would be funny, you standing there with like your pale ghost-like child just swaying back and forth while you're just like, 2 tickets to the show. Anybody want them? $20 each. I don't care.
Or if you got like a few extra Target bags in your car, I'll take those because I think it's going to be a pretty wild ride home. No, got
wipes?
him home.
Anybody got wipes?
Yeah, got him home, stuck him in a bath, like warm bath, like chill out in there. Had like, I think a couple pieces of toast and like set him up in my bed with like blanket, turned a movie on, was like, you just relax and don't move and drink that water.
Yeah.
You
walk out.
And by that time,
close the door in here.
Yeah, by the time, I was like, oh God. By the time I figured all that out, it was like, all right, now I got to go get your mom and your sister. And then you drive all the way back down there. So I was like, but then, then on top of that, we're like, oh, man, I hope we're still getting on a plane tomorrow. We're not figuring out how to cancel that too. But we went. It was fun. Everyone got a little sick, but it was winter. And I paid for the price for, remember when when we first got released into winter break with the kids, I was like, well, I'm sick already. So at least I'm getting mine out of the way.
Stupid thing.
No, stupid.
It was a stupid thing to
Last
say.
week, got it like sick again. It's like, come on.
It was the long vacation.
It was a long vacation, but that was the story. That's the story about how you don't always win. And it's often that you feel like you're losing. That's okay.
You rarely win is what you mean.
I felt so bad.
You don't
for him.
always win?
He was really the one. The 2 kids, he was the one who's like, he's going to be amped. I bet you'll have fun. He's going to be amped. Like he's the one that missed it.
Yep.
So little one bought him a t-shirt.
Great.
She's like, can we get him a shirt or something? My wife's like, oh, obviously. That's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
Parenting. It's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope. Well, I'm happy you guys aren't barfing now.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm sure there's time to get something in the spring.
Yeah.
Maybe like right before we go on tour. It'd be a fun time to get it. Because then we could share it the whole time.
Yeah, we'll share it with the Pittsburgh audience.
Yeah.
Come on down, guys.
Come on down. Don't shake my hand.
Don't touch me. No meet and greets at No meet and greets at Pittsburgh. Now, we will do meet and greets. Come to the show.
Come to the show.
Let's go to the Dumb Dad moments.
Yeah, because you know what? It's fun. We tell those. We tell good ones, good dumb dad moments on tour, on the live show.
Yeah, we have some good ones.
Personal good ones.
Personal ones. Might want to hear some of yours.
But we also like to do it here.
Yeah.
In the safe space in front of when people while you're driving or recording it for you to listen to. So what do you got for me? What did you do?
Mine's brought to you by, the fact that this car don't run like it used to.
Are you talking about your car or your old rickety body?
My old rickety car body.
I'm still lost.
Change the oil. Does that help?
I don't know.
No, because this happened. This happened today. Today. So last night was my wife and I's 19th dating anniversary. So we just we had a date like all parents do.
Yeah.
In the dining room of our own house, not leaving because that's fun. And
it's been a wild couple of weeks.
Yeah, of course.
Set aside the time. Don't go anywhere. Set aside the time.
Yeah, so it was fine. We had a nice dinner. We honestly like that. We love going out, but we also like we sit with the kids at dinner and then put them to bed and then make our own. We actually haven't done that in a while. We've been eating together a lot. Ugh. Pass.
What do you mean, like with the kids?
With the children? Ugh. Just kidding. It's fun.
We do it every night.
Yeah, we do. We do too. It's lovely. But we haven't done like a date night in a while, so we doing last night, and had a couple beverages. Didn't get hammered or anything. But the only reason I'm telling that story is because woke up, felt totally fine. But I normally go to the gym every morning. Didn't because of like the things we had to do today. You and I had to get together, and was just like today will be my off day. It's fine. And the reason I say that is because usually when I'm at the gym working out, drink lots of water. Yeah. So I'm already starting a little dehydrated from having a drink or two. I had 3. The night before.
1 or 2. Add them all together.
Bottle.
It's 3.
No. So I had a couple drinks, so I'm a little dehydrated. Didn't drink any water. Instead, had like 4 cups of coffee.
Yeah, baby.
Which I've been talking about getting old.
Yeah.
I've been like not taking. Like I usually take Prilosec.
Precautions? Oh.
And my doctor was just like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, it says 14 days on the box.
Oh, it's been 14 years.
Yeah. I was like, well, one doctor told me to keep taking it. And she's like, well, this doctor said, stop.
Looks like Swiss cheese.
They just said it doesn't.
I wouldn't chew my food too carefully. It'll just leak out into your body. You got to swallow things.
That's what it feels like. So because of that, I've been like cutting back on coffee. But then today I was just like,
unless you really want to just send it and see what happens.
Well, it's just the worst heartburn ever. So then I had like 4 cups of coffee today, and then what I have always been doing, I've been fasting lately, where I don't eat anything until noon or 1. That's easier to do when you're not drinking like just coffee all day. If you're just having water, it's kind of easy to get to noon or 1 and not eat. But you and I were like finishing up. It was around 1:30 when you left. Hadn't eaten anything. And I stood up and I was like,
Oh, that's why you said that. You were like, I'm really lightheaded. I think I need to go eat something.
I was like, I don't need it. And that's how I thought it was just like, I've had a couple coffees and it's 1:30. I usually don't go much later than 1. Yeah. And I was like, 1:30. I was like, I'm hungry. I made myself food and then I made myself food, drank pounded 3 glasses of water.
Yeah.
And then just had to lay down. It didn't immediately help. I was just hoping. I drank water as I was making my lunch.
Yeah.
Ate my lunch, drank 2 more glasses of water, and I was like, I don't feel well. I had to lay down just for a couple minutes, and then I was fine. I went and picked up the kids, and it was all great, and it was fine. But I was just like, oh, this is 40.
Yeah, this is 40. Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah. This is what it is.
That's great.
So that's just where that was my dumb dad moment, was just like, hey, if you're just going to fast, don't treat your. It was just I treated my body like I was back in my 20s,
Yeah.
Have a couple drinks the night before and just crush coffees. You will be fine. You can have water next Thursday.
Yeah, and it treated you like it was.
And it was
in your 20s twice over.
I don't think that's how we work.
Bro.
Bro.
That's not how it works down here anymore.
We're getting pretty close to being the kind of car you got to pour oil in when you get more gas.
It's not too much coffee, but water.
Water is the
in case
oil.
You can figure that out. Which, based on what you were sending down here the last 12 hours, you haven't.
Yeah. They're like, did you get bad news recently? What's going on up there?
It's been rough around here. Okay? Give me a break.
A single vitamin has passed this way in 18 hours.
We've looked. Okay, my dumb dad moment this week is brought to you by double whammies because I had 2 of them within the course of about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And these are just like fun little things you do that like can't really say anything about it. Everyone just gets to laugh at you.
Love it.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Actually, you guys gave my son a board game called Junior Detective.
Yeah.
Which we now are all in on. It was fun the first time we played it, and now like even my daughter's like, can we play? Can we play? Can we play? My son wants it. It's a really fun game.
Sweet.
Kind of like Clue.
Yeah.
Simple whodunit kind of thing, and you got to march around the board and like look at what people said about the culprit and decide whether or not they're telling the truth and like mark off your characters.
Yeah.
Really fun game. There's these like markers that are on the board that like you cannot pass them. It's just like a stone wall, you know, like if you
like a labyrinth.
you have to turn around and go the other way,
Yeah.
you know. You can move those markers if you draw a card that says like move the hiding places or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So we're playing the other night and like my daughter's like on an absolute tear. She's the age where pretty much if you play a board game with her, you're going to get wrecked. Like gets all the rolls. You know what I mean? Like, hope I get a 4 so I can land on the bike and travel wherever. Oh, I got a 4. And like every time.
Yeah.
And so I got to point. I was like kind of getting close to figuring out who it was. I was pretty sure she knew who it was. And then I got the card that was like, please move 2 of the hiding tokens. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to block her. Or I'm going to make it so she has to go like all the way around to get to where I think she's trying to go.
Yeah.
So I put him in these 2 spaces surrounding this character that I hadn't visited yet to get the information from. And then thinking I'm so cool, I finally get a roll that I want. Oh, the bicycle, which means you can go wherever you want on the board. Yeah. I stick it right on that center of that character and like I read the thing and like no one says anything. And then like it goes around the board. It's my turn again. And my wife's like, I don't think you can move. And I was like, what do you mean? I had like literally caged in my character.
And then you teleported to him.
Yeah, I caged the person I wanted to talk to, and then I went and teleported to him so I could talk to him. And then it was like, we have to roll out of it and leave. And I just blocked both of the exits. And my wife's like, why did you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking. So now comes to find out, you cannot do that, no matter who it is too.
Okay.
You can't just like lock somebody in. I was trying to block the person from being visited unless you could travel to him. But I wasn't thinking that you could then not leave that area. And, and I did it to myself.
Edgar Allan Poe them into a wall brick by brick.
My wife was like, what a stupid move. And so I was like, I don't really know what to do here. I either just kind of lose unless somebody else at some point in the game draws another one of those cards that says you can move the token. And like, as luck may have had it, I waited like 2 turns where they just passed me, and then my wife drew that card. And she's like, should we be nice to Daddy and move one of these so he can at least leave? My daughter's like, no.
She's right.
Which is the right answer, but my wife's like, well, I think he wants to keep playing with us. So she moved on for me. But I was like, stupid idiot. Trying to outsmart a kid so I could maybe get a little further in the game, and I locked myself in like a dummy.
Which is a bummer because it's pretty easy to outsmart a kid, but you just...
I outsmarted myself.
Outsmarted yourself.
And like I said, it was one of those things like, no explanation. Could have thought about it. Didn't.
Sure.
And then penalized myself.
Good. That's what you get for playing dirty.
Stupid idiot. And my second one, and here's another thing. As the winter approached, my wife and I were like, I think I want some new flannel sheets for the bedroom. Pick a new color. Okay, so we ordered a set of flannel sheets that we liked.
Yeah.
We have a deep green bedspread. And then we got the color, and it was kind of like a mustard color.
Nice.
We thought would look really cool together.
Yeah,
we put them there, and with the other pillows we had and the rest of the room, it just all of a sudden looked like Go Pack Go. Like we were just, without any logos anywhere, it looked like we were really big Packers fans.
Green base.
Yeah. And we were like, okay, so yeah, we can't have these here. It was just like way too.
Did you hate the Packers?
I don't necessarily hate the Packers, but I don't want to design my bedroom after them.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, I'm a Seahawks fan. I don't want my bedroom to look like a Seahawks bedroom either.
That's fair. What about like a race car bed?
Well,
I mean, that's what we're talking about. That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. So we needed to return them. I know I looked it up at one point. Like now I did return them on time. Let me say that before you jump to the conclusions, Matt. Here,
You
had plenty of time.
You were in a safe space, sir.
Would never.
Dare you know what these are for? These cans? They're for listening, and that's what I'm here for, pal.
So yeah, I knew he had a long time to do it, and he just kept putting off. We just moved the box around from the kitchen counter to like the bedroom, and then like one of us has to do this.
Oh yeah,
right?
Like donating clothes.
Just moving around until it's like I'm going now. I can't step over this thing anymore. So
and then it stays in the back of the car for 2 more months.
Yeah. So I was like the other day was like we did have a donation drop off to do. So I was like, I'm gonna go do the drop off and I'm gonna go mail those sheets back. I'll be back in a little bit. My wife's like, okay. And I was like, I looked in the box. There's the sheets we weren't gonna keep, and like it was so obvious we didn't even open them. We took them out and like set them on the bed and was like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah.
So they're still in the box. In the box, I'm starting to think like, all right, let me go online and figure out what the return situation is. Mm-hmm. But in the box with the sheets was the UPC that like you just stick like the shipping label, stick it back on there if you're going to return it. And I was like, slick. This is way easier. So I sealed the box and stuck that on there, and I go talk to my wife, and I'm like, the only thing in the box is like a coupon for next time and like this sticker. Uh-huh. That's obvious, right? That it's going to be a return. She's like, yeah, usually because there's like a tracking number on there. Yeah. And like our name was still on that, even though it was like being sent back to. Mm-hmm. It's like the address is on there. And I was like, I think that's fine. I'll make sure to get a tracking number for sure. Oh, they always give you a tracking number when you just go drop it off at UPS or whatever. Yeah, on the receipt, which I did do. And then later on, we're playing this game, and I locked myself in, and I felt kind of stupid. And then we're getting ready for dinner, and I was helping get dinner ready. And my wife comes in the room, and she's like, did you notice that the sticker you peeled off and stuck on the box?
It was to your house again, wasn't it?
No. On the other side of that paper was like a whole return form. What's your order number? Who are you? What's your address?
Why am I receiving this?
Why are we getting this back? Yeah, I still had that. But I had already shipped the sheets with almost no label or nothing, just back to the company.
Whoops.
Yeah. But I did get lucky. We called, and they were like, oh, we'll be able to figure it out by the sticker on there. My wife was like, you're lucky.
You're like, no, I knew that.
Yeah.
That's why I did it.
I don't know what God. Again with this sheets thing, I did it, all right?
Oh, and also here's a receipt for the donations.
But to be very honest, I'm lucky. I literally peeled it off the piece of paper and stuck it on the box. Holding it in my hand was the return slip. Yeah. And even then, I didn't notice it later. She had to tell me. I mean, come on, man. Oblivious.
I mean, is that like a dumb dad moment, or is that like a dumb mom moment? Because why does she keep trusting you with these things?
I don't know.
I mean, good Lord.
I mean, it's really on her. So embarrassing. And again, one of those things that was like, you stupid idiot. It was like, yeah, I know. I can't say anything. It was in my hand.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do. You look at the sheet, try to think of something clever to say. Look at her face.
Nothing coming to me.
She's not quite in the mood.
I don't think there's anything that I could say that'd be worth the risk that probably won't get a laugh anyway. Mm-hmm. Something's going to be quiet.
Never gets a laugh.
And however you want to make fun of me, that's totally fine for a while. I'll take it. And if we don't get the money back, you can really lay into me because that'll just be that much more dumb. Yeah. But they said they're confident, so we'll see.
Let's say they're confident. Well, let's cap off this episode by reading a dumb parent submission. Evan, please tell us how did people send in submissions?
Well, if you do something dumb, you did, and you have before, we love to read your stories about the dumb things you do as parents on our podcast. If you want to keep it anonymous, that's totally fine. And we accept all forms of submissions, but specifically and pretty much only by mail.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which you can find in either our show notes or our link tree, which is where our P.O. box is, and you can handwrite a letter to us. We always appreciate that. Or you can do what most people do and just send it to dumbdadpod@gmail.com, and we'll read it on the show. Mm-hmm. And or you can DM us on Instagram. Some people have done that as well. Any way you can figure out how to get it to us so that we acknowledge it.
Uh-huh.
Like just put it in a box and add a
do
shipping
it.
label to it. Just send it to us.
Come
Just
on.
open the box and it'll be in there.
Come on.
So there you go.
So there you go.
What do we got?
We've got a submission from Damien.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you for taking the time to send this, Damien.
It says, my name is Damien, and I'm a dumb dad.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Damien.
Hello, Damien.
It all started a week ago when we all got the flu.
Oh, what a dummy.
What a start. Wash your hands. We've all been through it, and it sucks. Today was the first day we were all feeling good, so we decided to go get a cake pop for our almost 4-year-old. It's her favorite food, obviously.
Is there anything better?
My kids don't care for them, and they're wrong. I tell them all the time.
They're wrong.
I don't like. Oh, that's crazy because you're wrong.
It's a whole piece of cake in one little lollipop,
And
it's so
and it
condensed
tastes
and
half
rich.
cooked.
Oh, it's God.
Isn't that funny? That things like cake and cookies are like you make them worse when you cook them.
A piece
Anyway.
of cake is pretty much a pass.
Yeah, unless you
A
don't.
cake pop?
Unless it's raw.
Come on.
Let's
It's like
go.
somebody made a snowball out of a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Just compacted it.
At this point, you're probably hedging your bets on what you think the end of the story is.
I know.
You will be wrong.
I was thinking at least I would put my money on seeing the cake pop again.
We'll see. After she consumed the cake pop in 3 bites and we sat and played some Candyland at Starbucks, we were ready to go. Wow, you bring Candyland places. Okay.
Don't
There's no judgment.
accept any of that shade. You do what you got to do.
You do what you gotta do.
Even though Candyland sucks.
Our 4-year-old then yelled at Mama she wanted a piggyback ride. As we work through the Fornado years, we have been setting boundaries and refuse to give in to a terrorist.
I hear that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So I picked her up and walked to the car, explaining that we don't yell to get what we want. This sparked a tantrum
Man.
we have never seen before. Our normally mild-mannered daughter yelled and screaming, refusing to get in her car seat for 25 minutes as we sat in the parking lot.
Oh
man.
my God. 25 minutes.
Gentle parenting is the worst. I'm right there with you. I'm not judging. It's what I do too. We finally got her in as she continued to cry and made it the mile home.
You could have gone back and forth like 25 times.
Could have walked. My wife brought her in and tried to calm her. I decided to do something nice and clean the inside of the car. After I filled a 13-gallon trash bag full of snack wrappers, socks, and water bottles, I swung it onto my back, tweaking my shoulder. Yeah. God, I identify with all this. As I hobbled the bag upstairs, I started unloading the socks into the laundry. I realized I had to unload the washer. My wife had washed the sheets before we left. So I go to unload the washing machine and realize we had a situation.
Oh, man.
Remember how I said we had the flu? Okay.
Oh.
Well, our daughter is potty trained, but in times of crisis, we turn to pull-ups during the nighttime, and when she doesn't feel well, she cuddles in our bed at night. Makes sense to have a spare nearby for the middle of the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Well,
Especially if you want to basically ruin all your clothes in the washing machine. And
it would
wash
be
one.
a good idea not to get that spare pull-up wrapped up in your sheets when you wash them. At this point, we all had a good cry laugh, and we were just happy that our daughter was back to being her normal self. Damien.
The compounding problems in situations like that are just the moments where you look at, that's when you look at your partner and you're like, what have we done to ourselves?
That's a great story because he gave us the full day. He gave us a lot of details that if you weren't a parent, you'd be like, why'd you tell me about the cake pop at all? But it's like, no, those are all important because there's just, if you just have a day, like nobody has a nothing day, and
No,
then
the
you
tone is set
and
there.
then you find a diaper in
Yeah.
the wash. No,
Yeah.
you've had already a not so great adventure.
A not so great adventure.
And
And
then
then
you're
you
like,
think
all right.
like that was, oh, you thought that was frustrating
Okay.
in the parking lot?
Why are there beads everywhere? It looks like those beads in that soap that you can get at Bath and Body Works. What the hell is happening?
Except for there's 10 million
10
of
million
them.
of them.
Something he said in the story, and thank you again, Damien, for saying
Thank
that
you,
in.
Damien.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're saying we identify with it so much, because it's like when something feels like it's going wrong and then something extra goes wrong, you're like, why?
Why?
And today it could have happened this morning. It didn't really happen this morning. But my daughter, like, tell me if either of your kids do this. My daughter wakes me up this morning.
No.
She like taps my knee. She's like, "Can you come help me get my clothes?" And now both my kids are like, now they're into setting alarms.
No, my
which is
kids.
Hilarious.
No, my kids will be in their underwear until 4 minutes after we should have walked out the door.
Yeah, my daughter is like, well, we bought my son like this the Nintendo. I don't know if you've seen this, like the Nintendo alarm clock for his birthday.
Yeah, it's great.
And so he was in there like messing with it, so he could like set his own alarm to the video game song that he wanted. He was all excited about it. And my daughter's like, I want an alarm. Like they had clocks in their room, so it's like, okay, here's how to set it.
Yeah,
it's just a beeper though, But so she's been setting it as well, and she comes in. She's like, "Daddy, can you help me get ready for school?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I go into her room, and I'm like, "What do you want to wear?" And she goes, "You pick." And I was like, "Okay." Let me think. And I'm start like thumbing through like a t-shirt, to start. And she's like, "No, I don't want to wear a shirt." And I was like, "Okay, all right."
So dress.
So a dress then. She's like, "Mm-hmm." And I pick a dress that I like, and she's like, "No, not that one." I'm like, "All right.
I'm about to walk out.
How about you just tell me what you want to wear?" And she was like, "No." I'm like, "Okay. I don't know what to tell you. You told me to pick out I'm trying to be so like, you told me to pick out something. You didn't like what I picked out. And then I picked out a dress and you didn't want to wear the dress. Like, why don't you just tell me the dress and then we can go from there?" She's like, now she's already a little bit spicy.
Yeah.
Which is what I tell her. I'm like, you don't need to be so spicy. We're just.
Has she had her coffee
Just
yet?
tell me what you. No.
Don't talk to her until she's had her coffee.
So she picks the dress. She puts it on. And like it's one of those ones like there's just like a single clasp button like around the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Right. So like undo that and I put it on and I have her turn around and I like pull her hair up to like button it and she's like, "I don't want to wear this dress. I didn't remember that there was a button on it." I'm like, okay. You picked the dress. That's totally fine. If you don't want to wear this, we won't wear it. So to peel it off and now she's like pissed off. It's like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
How did we get here? Why are you mad?
Why are you mad? And
then she gets up and she's like, now she's like stomps over to the. I'm like, okay, other people are still sleeping. You got to be a little quiet, please. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to be. And she's like kind of starting to cry. And I'm like, no, we don't need to cry. We don't need to cry, honey. I'm not upset. I'm not even mad.
Gosh.
You said you wanted me to pick something. I picked it. You didn't like it. Now you picked it. You didn't like a button, but like, let's just pick something. It's not a big deal. And she's like, fists are clenched. Straight armed, like furrowed brows, just like staring at her.
Leading with the forehead.
Basket. Yeah. Now she's just like pissed off and kind of starting and crying a little bit. And I'm like,
and you're like, I could have stayed in bed and not gotten in your way.
Yeah. And she kind of like leans over to me. I'm thinking she's going for a hug, kind of. So I kind of wrap and she kind of headbutts my stomach. I'm like, yeah, all right. I go, okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave and like. You can pick whatever you want, but I don't think I'm helping. And I like leave the room, and then I immediately felt bad because I'm like,
no, that's the right move, I think.
I wait like 5 seconds, and
it's
I come
a consequence.
back. I went like 5 seconds, and I was like, look, there's no reason for you to be upset. I was like,
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening. I mean, I can. Would you like me to help you? And she's like, yes. I'm like, I literally don't know how you were able to get mad.
Yeah.
How are you able to get mad and are crying? Like, why are you crying? It's no big deal.
What are you mad about?
I'm all for gentle parenting and like, what's going on? But it was like, this went from like 0 to 60 so quick. And all I did was what you told me to do.
I think leaving the room was the exact right move. I think you got to let them know like, oh, we're going to be like that. You're on your own.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt your feelings. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to hurt your kids' feelings.
Yeah.
To be like, no, you're wrong. Like, I am your safe space, but not for that.
Not to be a punching bag, like literally. But it was just, I identify with that kind of stuff. But it was like, it so quickly could have gone off the rails even further somehow, like, and then, oh man.
Yeah, I've definitely had
whatever. We forgot something at school yesterday, so we don't have it. So now she's already on, a razor's edge.
Yeah.
And here we go. But like, that didn't happen. We kind of like chilled out by the time we got in the car. I was pretty quiet and I just played whatever music I wanted because I was like a little bit pissed off.
For sure.
But I don't want to make them feel bad or anything. So I was just kind of quiet, letting them in the car and like, you guys ready? Okay. And took off and kind of started playing music. Then they started joking around a little bit and then asking me questions, and it was like all kind of chill. But it was like, some days they just start like that. And you're like, I don't know what happened.
I've had definitely versions of that for sure, where it's like, help me. You're not like, and you help me. No. Our daughter, our oldest, luckily, I think since school started, really made a push to dress herself. She wasn't always in kindergarten.
Yeah.
But ever since then, that's really evolved into like, she always dresses herself, and it's just been like, cool. Now she's 8 now, so that's not really a feat, but it's like, it's cool because now she's just very good at it. But our son, I think we have a little bit of that. It's like, I don't want to wear a dinosaur shirt today. I was like, that's insane, but okay.
The thing is, like, my daughter
that has a dinosaur on it.
Yeah. That's what he settles on. My daughter.
So the one I picked.
Yeah.
Okay.
My daughter pretty much dresses herself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're no help.
I know. I mean, that's a funny thing. It's like, you asked me, so it was like, cool, yeah, love to help you. So why are you in here? Why would you pick that? It's like, I don't know.
I was having a great time sleeping.
Yeah.
You did this to me. Let me ask you something. Oh, you said, and that's okay, because I think I've done this too. You said you just played your own music and you kept it to yourself because you were a little pissed off. But have you ever let them know that they pissed you off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it didn't really
It wouldn't have helped.
It wouldn't really helped. It would have felt like, if I say something now, it would have felt like,
I think it's
you
hard
say something every single time.
And it's also, they're going to school. Like, you'll say something if they're still in the house. You know what I mean? Like, if they're doing something and not going anywhere for a couple hours or just for the rest of the day, then it's probably a good moment to be like, hey, you're being the worst.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely said, like, that's not fair. You know, you're putting words into my mouth. That's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely have this conversation. Yeah, it didn't feel like, and it was, I guess, perhaps probably not there. I wasn't pissed off. I was just like annoyed. Like,
you could be pissed off though.
It sucks is like, and I don't and wouldn't ever like walk around on eggshells around my children so they're always happy.
Sure.
Because that's not truthful or not real. But when stuff like this happens, it's like there was like no reason for that at all.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, man, what a start to the morning when there was no reason for that.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just more like, that sucked. You know, like,
man, that's parenting. Then you open the dryer and there was an exploded diaper.
I know. That's like, you know, I would have got like a ticket on the way to school or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, or on the way back home. So I was like, I'm out of here for the day.
You snap at the cop and he's like, I didn't deserve this.
Yeah. Hey, man, I was just trying to give you a friendly ticket and you got all this attitude for me.
Well, that's a great place to leave it. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. We haven't read one. We'll read one soon. But please write a review. It always helps boost us up there.
Yep.
So that people can find us more. Share this with other parents that you know. Get the word out on this podcast. And thanks to Verdú on SoundCloud for the music. And thanks, as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. You got a joke?
I got a joke for you.
All right.
You can tell another one to your kid. What does a T-Rex use to cut wood?
What does a T-Rex use to cut wood?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They got tiny arms.
Yeah. A dinosaur.
But why a T-Rex, though? That seems mean.
I know.
He's not handling tools.
How could a T-Rex ever cut wood?
He can't even tie a tie. It's a funny image, isn't it?
It is, because it's like, not only would it be hard because you have short arms, but you also only have 3 fingers.
He's looking in the mirror, just like
past his nose. Like,
over.
how do you do that? Like,
he's doing the swinging and trying to get it through. It's a lot of just throwing it.
Little no thanks.
You have to lean to one side, pinch one end, lean to the other side, pinch the other end. Okay, got it. Now
Clip-on ties were invented by T-Rexes.
Brontosaurus, get over here. Help me. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?
The Dumb Dad Podcast is proudly presented by Bet Online.